Imini yeSabatha ayibenhle babangcwele. Siyavula ngehlelo 233 ngicela umshumayeli uShangazi.
Amen.
Thixo wami, dwala lami, wena uhlangana nangiyalela inhlalo phambi kwakho kulendawo engcwele namhla Nkosi ngiyabonga umvumelo phambi kwakho kulendawo engcwele mabe Yebo Nkosi mangisume ngikuxa yathi izithelo zona ezithandwa nguwe. Yebo Nkosi mangisume ngibe nguxa yathi izithelo zona ezithandwa
Asibonge. Amen. Isihloko sanamhla sithi inkosi inyanga yezulu engumprofeti kaJehova.
Amen. The topic for today's sermon is Lord Amos Shembe was Yahuwah's prophet.
ngikhuluma ngenyanga yezulu ngoba inyanga kaSeptember inyanga yenkosi inyanga yezulu.
I'm talking about Lord Amos Shembe because September is the month that it is dedicated to him.
Ubaba inyanga yezulu wazalwa mhla ka-25 September 1906 wahamba emhlabeni mhla ka-25 September 1995 wazalelwa eNtabazwe eFree State wahamba emhlabeni ebuhleni eKZN.
Lord Amos Shembe was born on 25 September 1906 and passed away on 25 September 1995. He was born at Ntabazwe, Free State, and passed away at Ebuhleni in KwaZulu-Natal.
Wafunda imfundo ephakeme eManzimtoti wasuka lapho waya eFort Hare lapho owaphothula khona izifundo zokuthishela. Esenguthisha wafundisa eManzimtoti nasesikoleni eziningi ngisho emaXhoseni.
He acquired his high education at Amanzimtoti and proceeded to the University of Fort Hare, where he obtained a qualification in education. As a teacher, he taught at Amanzimtoti and many other schools, including those among the Xhosa people.
Kule ntshumayelo siqonde ukubonisa ukuthi inyanga yezulu yayingumprofeti kaJehova, hayi ngizimangaliso owayezenza, ngoba namhla isilinganiso sokuthi umuntu ungumprofeti sekungukubuka ukuthi ukwazi ukwenza izimangaliso ezingakanani. Kanti onke ama-Satanist nonkulunkulu abahlukahlukene bayazenza izimangaliso ngezimangaliso.
In this sermon, we intend showing that Lord Amos Shembe was Yahuwah's prophet, not on account of miracles that he performed, because nowadays a prophet's office is measured on the basis of miracles, whereas all Satanists and other such demigods do perform all sorts of miracles.
Esikhathini esiphambili usekhona umprofeti ofata ababili abamhlophe basemaromeni bafika ngesithuthuthu ekuphakameni bafike bathi, Shembe, sicela usinike oyedwa wamadodana akho siyomfundisa, sizokwakhela indlu enkulu enesitezi, sikunike nemali eningi, ngeke uhlupheke ngoba konke okudingayo siyokunika khona.
Earlier on, while the prophet was still alive, two white Roman Catholic fathers arrived at Ekupagameni on a motorbike and said, Shembe, can you please give us one of your sons that we may have him educated? We will build a huge double-story house for you and give you a lot of money. You will not suffer because we will provide for all your needs.
Ubaba mkhulu wabe esebaphendula labo fata basemaromeni ethi, oh batabami, nizongenza ngitelele, ngabe lezi zingane ezami yini?
The prophet then answered these Roman Catholic fathers, saying, oh, my children, you will turn me into a mocker. Are these my children?
Cha akuzona ezami, zacela kuNkulunkulu ngamakhosi akwaZulu alele othulini lomhlaba. Bathandaza kuJehova kuba abuyise izwe labo eselizicucu. Laba bantwana bayoliqoqa izwe libuyele esizweni esimeni esihle, ngakho ke akubona abami.
No, they are not mine. They were requested from Aluwa by departed Zulu monarchs. They prayed to Yahuwah, asking him to restore their land. which had been divided into pieces. These children will restore the good condition of the land. They are therefore not mine.
Emva kokuba laba belungu behlulekile ukuba ubabamkhulu abanikeze omunye wabantwana bakhe ukuba bayomfundisa. Uthi-ke unkosazana uPhumzile owayexoxa le ndaba. Emva kwaleyo ngxoxo uShembe wasibiza sonke ukuba size eMosethemba okuyindlu yamakhosazana. Wasibikela ngenkulumo okade enayo nalaba belungu ababehamba ngesithuthuva. Wasitshela ukuthi batheni nokuthi yena uphendule wathini. Wase ebuza ukuthi ukufundisa abantwana bami kuyanisinda yini ngoba laba bantwana bangamakhosi enu.
After these Caucasians had failed to convince the prophet to give them one of his children so that they could have him educated, Maiden Phumzile provided the following story. After that discussion, Shembe summoned all of us to come to Mosethemba, the house of maidens, and reported on a conversation that he had held with those Caucasians who came on a motorbike. He told us what they had said and how he responded to them. He then asked if it would be too much of a financial burden to fund the education of his children because they were their kings.
Ngamanye amazwi uthi ubabamkhulu laba bantwana ababili bayanisinda yini ukuthi nibafundise ngoba bangamakhosi enu. Angazi noma niyezwa yini ukuthi ithini le nkulumo.
In other words, the prophet was inquiring if funding the education of those two children would be too much of a burden since they were their kings. I don't know if you do understand that statement.
Kumele laba bantwana ababili bafundiswe ngamaNazaretha njengoba bengamakhosi amaNazaretha bengafundiswa ngamaRoma.
The education of these two children was supposed to be funded by the Nazarites, since they were the kings of the Nazarites, so that the Roman Catholics would not have to pay for their education.
Ubabamkhulu wayenza lolu siko olwenziwa kwaZulu ukuthi uma inkosikazi izozala inkosi yona iyaye ilotsholwe isizwe. Kwaqala lapho ukuthi laba bantwana ababili babizwe ngokuthi bangamakhosi amaNazaretha.
The prophet was following a Zulu traditional practice in which the dowry for a prospective mother of a future monarch would be paid by the nation concerned. It was at that point that these two children would be known as the kings of the Nazarites.
Uthike ubabamkhulu laba bantwana bangamakhosi enu. Manje bayanisinda yini ukuthi nibafundise. Athi amaNazaretha hayi abasisindi. Kwase kukhishwa umnikelo oqondene nokufundisa laba bafana ababili. Ubaba ilanga nobaba inyanga.
The prophet said, "These children are your kings. Now, do you find sponsoring their education too much of a burden?" The Nazarites said, "No, they are not so much of a financial burden to us." Then offerings were collected for the educational expenses of these two fellows, Lord Galili Shembe and Lord Amos Shembe.
KumaRoma uthena ubabamkhulu laba bantwana akubona abami. Bacelwa kuNkulunkulu ukuze ngabo kubuyiswe izwe lakwaZulu. Ngakho ke mina angikwazi ukuthi ngininikeze imvume yokuthi laba bantwana bafundiswe yini ngoba bangabantwana bakaNkulunkulu.
To the Roman Catholics, the prophet said, "These children are not mine. They were requested from Alua, so that through them the land of the Zulu people would be reclaimed or restored. Therefore, I cannot grant you permission to fund the education of these chaps because they are the children of Alua.
kusho ubaba mkhulu akakhulumanga ngobaba ilanga yedwa kodwa wakhuluma ngabantwana ababili.
This was said by the prophet. He didn't mention Lord Galili Shembe only, but he referred to both children.
Unongilisha Mdluli ekhuluma eqondiswe kubaba inyanga yezulu uthi igama elithi inyanga yezulu lisho ukuthi umnikazi wezulu. Ngezulu sichaza izulu elidumayo, thunder.
Nongilesh Mdluli, addressing Lord Amos Shembe, said, the name thunderstorm practitioner means the owner of thunderstorms. By thunderstorms, we mean thunder and lightning, or any natural phenomenon related to electrical charges that accumulate on cloud particles.
Uthike unongilisha ngelinye ilanga kwafika indoda ekuphakameni yabika kuShembe ubaba mkhulu ukuthi umuzi wayo ushawe umbane. Wayesethi ubaba mkhulu hamba uye esitolo ekuphakameni uzofica abafana ababili khuluma nomncane ngoba nguye ophethe imibani eyisikhombisa.
Nongilesh says, one day a man came to Ekpagameni and reported to Shembe, the prophet, that his residence had been struck by lightning. The prophet then said, go to the shop, you will find two fellas. Speak with the younger one, because he is the one who holds 7 lightnings.
Lendo tayaya esitolo esiphakameni kodwa yamangala ukuthi laba bafana basebancane kakhulu. Yafika le ndoda esitolo yayisithi ngithunywe ubaba wenu komncane ngizobika ukuthi umbane ushaye umuzi wami. Ngitsheliwe ukuthi omncane unembane esikhombisa.
That man went, but he was puzzled to find that the fellows were still young. The man arrived at the shop and said, your father has sent me to the younger one. I have come to report that the lightning has struck my residence and have been told that the younger one possesses 7 lightnings.
Inyanga yezulu yakhipha iduku ngesandla ekhukhwini lakhe wanikeza le ndoda wathi hamba ungakhulumi namuntu endleleni uze ufike ekhaya lakho. Ekhaya ulichome iduku endaweni ethize. Umbane ngeke uphinde udlalele emzini wakhe. Nempela umbane awuphindanga wadlalela emzini wale ndoda.
Lord Amos Shembe took out a handkerchief from his pocket with his own hand and gave it to the man. He said, go and say nothing to anyone on your way until you reach your home. Display the handkerchief somewhere within the residence. The lightning will never come anywhere near your residence. Indeed, that man was not troubled.
Ake mhla ubaba inyanga yezulu esichazela indaba yokuthi le mibani eyisikhombisa isibusiso sayo wasithola kanjani ubaba mkhulu.
I was present when Lord Amos Shembe explained how he received the blessing of 7 lightnings from the prophet.
Uthike ubaba inyanga yezulu niyasazi isibusiso ngasithola mina kuShembe ngangingayanga.
Since 2010, it has rained only 2 or 3 times around Shabbat services.
Kwala ngisho imvula itshengisa 100% livele liguqubale uma sekungena inkonzo livele lise enqobizitha kodwa libe lina kwenye indawo.
Even when there are 100% chances of rain, only the rain clouds gather in the sky. But when services start at Ngobizita, the weather becomes clear, though it may be raining somewhere else,
njengoba kwenzeka nje namanje.
as it is happening right now.
Kanjalo nokuvikeleka ekushaweni umbani wezulu thina sicela kwinyanga yezulu.
Likewise, we ask for protection from lightning from Lord Amos Shembe.
Siyakwenza lokhu ngokufundiswa ingelosi. Kodwa kwangimangalisa uma sengithola ukuthi nangesikhathi sika baba mkhulu wathi baba mkhulu inyanga yezulu enikwe amandla okuvimba izulu.
We do this owing to what the angel has taught us. But I was surprised to learn that it was during the prophet's time that he said Lord Amos Shembe had been granted authority to regulate or even stop thunderstorms.
Kodwa kukhona into engayikhohlwa eyenzeka ngesikhathi sika baba inyanga yezulu. Angizi ukusho ukuthi yayenzwa nguye. Kodwa yenzeka ngesikhathi sakhe. Ngangiyimanje embumbulu cishe kwaku-1985 ngiyimanje.
But there is something that I cannot forget, which occurred during Lord Amos Shembe's tenure. I will not say that he did it, but it happened during his era. I was a magistrate around 1985. I was at Mbumbu.
Kwathi ebusuku ngihleli ngabona sengena umama esasonta naye ehamba nendodana yakhe. Indodana ngangingayazi.
While I was sitting at night, I saw a woman who was my fellow member of our assembly coming in with her son. I knew her son. Then the woman,
I did not know her son.
I didn't know her son.
Continue.
Then the woman said, "Here is my son who just showed up at home. He made out someone and escaped. I have just seen him arriving now. I thought I should bring him to you."
Ngase ngiyambuza lo mfana ukuthi ngempela wambulala yini umuntu. Wathi lo mfana yebo. Wambulalelana umuntu wathi lo mfana sasiphuza utshwala sisaphuza ngathi ngiyasukuma utshwala base buyachitheka.
I then asked that fella if he indeed killed somebody. The fella said yes. Why did you kill a human being? The fella said, "We were having some booze. While we were still drinking, when I stood up, I erroneously spilled the beer."
Wase yasukuma lo uphuku ngifana noShembe
Who tried to fly and die.
lo mfana wayengazi ukuthi ngizalwa ngamaNazaretha.
That fella didn't know that my parents were the Nazarites.
He did know.
Oh, he did.
Uthi lo mfana ngakhipha ummese ngamgwaza wafa khona lapho ngase ngiyabaleka. Sekuphele 6 months ngabaleka.
The fella said, "I took out a knife and stabbed him to death right there and then, and I then fled. I have been in hiding for about 6 months now."
Ngathi le ndaba ngizoyithini ngathi hey le ndaba ngizoyithini ngoba ilikhulu lento angazi ngenze njani. Ngase ngithi ubaba inyanga yezulu ukhona unomhlangano ebuhleni. Hamba uye kuye ufike umxoxele le ndaba. Mina ngiyokwenza lokho afike ubaba wathi angikwenza.
I then figured out that the matter was extremely complex and didn't know what to do. I then said Lord Amos Shembe was holding a meeting at Ebuhleni. I said he should go and tell him the story and I would do whatever he would suggest.
Na ngempela lo mfana wase eyahamba ebuhleni wafika wakhuluma kubaba inyanga yezulu wakhuluma njengoba ngikhuluma nje.
Indeed, that fella went to Ebuhleni and said to Lord Amos Shembe exactly what I had told him.
Wathi baba ngizobika ukuthi ngabulala umuntu ngabaleka ngibalekela amaphoyisa. Lo mfana wayezalwa amaNazaretha kodwa esephuza utshwala.
He said, Lord, I have come to report that I murdered someone and fled away from the reach of the police. That chap was from a Nazarite family, but he had adopted the habit of drinking liquor.
Uthi ngitheke uma ngithi ngiyasukuma kwawa ibhodlela notshwala wase uyangithuka wathi ngisiphukuphuku ngifana noShembe lo owathi uyandiza wafa. Wathukuthela ubaba inyanga yezulu wabesethi hamba uye emaphoyiseni uyozibika angeke uboshwe ngoba lowo muntu usesihogweni.
He said, when I tried to stand up, I erroneously spilled a bottle of beer and he insulted me, saying I am as stupid as Shembe, who tried to fly and died. Lord Amos Shembe got furious and said, go to the police and report yourself. You will not be arrested because that person is in hell.
Ngathi ngimbona lo mfana wayefika la e-office wangifica ngimi umshushisi wabe sethi ubaba sengiya wayesethi baba sengiya emaphoyiseni ukuzibika.
All of a sudden, I saw that chap arriving at my office. He found me with a prosecutor and said, Sir, I'm on my way to the police so that I may report the matter.
Ngathi mina kwenze njani? Wathi hayi ngiphuma kubaba inyanga yezulu. Ubaba uthena ngizibike emaphoyiseni ngoba lo muntu ngoba ngeke ngiboshwe ngoba lo muntu engimbulele usesihogweni.
I then asked what had happened. He said, no, I am from Lord Amos Shembe. The Lord said I should hand myself to the police because the person that I killed is in hell.
Manje lo mshushisa akayilo iNazaretha. Ngathi mina ngenhliziyo labantu abangama-fanatics bayahlupha. Lo muntu bengafanele lento engitshele yona bekufanele ngitshele yona ngingedwa. Hayi ukuthi engitshele nginomshushisi.
The prosecutor is not a Nazarite. I then said in my thoughts, these people who are fanatics are so troublesome because this person was supposed to say this thing to me alone, not while I am with the prosecutor.
Washo wakhuluma lo mfana wakhuluma kimi ngina lo mshushisi. Wathi sengihamba ke baba sengiye emaphoyiseni.
That chap spoke to me while I was with the prosecutor. He said, I'm leaving, sir. I'm going to the police.
Uthe uma ephuma lo mfana kanti lo mshushisi usefile uhlelo. Uthe uma esephumile wathi lo mshushisi.
When that fella came out, the prosecutor was extremely amused, laughing his lungs out. When the fella had exited the office, the prosecutor said,
uthi lo mfana uthi ngeke eboshwe ebulele umuntu. uShembe uthe ngeke aboshwe ngoba lo muntu ambulele sesihogweni. Wayesethi lo mshushisi sizoke sibone phela. Ngabona ukuthi ngisenkingeni lela. Number 45.
Oh, 45. The chap handed himself to the police.
No,
44.
44 years.
What is this one saying? Is he saying he will not be convicted, though he has committed homicide? Did Shembe say he will not be convicted because the murder victim is in hell? Then the prosecutor said, no, we will see how this will unfold. I realized that I was in trouble. The chap handed himself to the police and they detained him. After detaining him, they locked him up in a prison cell. But they wrote what he should pay, that he should pay 100 rand bail. Then I saw the same chap before me having been granted 100 rand bail.
Nginkusho wahamba lo mfana waya emaphoyiseni, afika amaphoyisa ambopha, esembophile amvalela isitokisini. Kodwa edokodweni base bebhala ukuthi akakhiphe 100 rand ibail. Ngithe ngimbona lo mfana ngakusasa esesebhokisini phambi kwami, amaphoyisa esemnikile ibail ka 100 rand. You have interpreted that, yes. Ngathi mina kanjani ungabulala umuntu ubaleke bese uzonikezwa ngamaphoyisa ibail ka 100 rand ungayicelanga nasenkantolo lento yenzeke kanjani?
I wondered how one could be granted 100 rand bail by the police without applying for it in a court of law.
You see, ukuchaza lokho umuntu uma ngabe enecala serious njengemeda, akubona amaphoyisa asho ukuthi ufanele ekhokhe emalini. Kusho inkantolo emva uma amaphoyisa umshushisi beyiphikise leyo bail. But in this case, wathi efika lo mfana wayesenikezwe ibail ka 100 rand enikezwa amaphoyisa, kodwa kade balekile.
If I can just unpack this just briefly, whenever somebody has committed such a serious case of murder or homicide, it never happens that they just get bail from the police. They need to go to the magistrate, who will then determine how much should be paid. But in this case, it happened in a very strange way, that the police just granted this guy bail even though he had actually escaped for such a long time.
Futhi bamnikeza ibail ka 100 rand, isikhathi esiningi umuntu obulele unikeza ibail ka 500 rand. Ngaleso sikhathi wayenikeza ibail the minimum of 500 rand.
And they just gave him 100 rand bail, but during those days, one would be given, normally would be given 500 rand bail.
Ngaleso sikhathi kwakuthi uma ngabe umuntu ebulele umuntu eqala enkantolo encane, ukusho noma uyalivuma noma uyaliphika icala.
In those times, a murder suspect would first go to a lower court just to plead either guilty or innocent.
Lo mfana walivuma icala, wavuma konke okumele akuvume ukuze kuthiwa uyalivuma icala. Uthi sasiphuza utshwala, ngathi ngiyasukuma wawa utshwala ugoloko, wase eyangithuka lo muntu ethi ngesilima nesiphuphu ngifana noShembe owathi uyandiza wafa.
That fella pleaded guilty, including declaring every aspect of the matter so that he could be understood as having fully admitted his guilt. He said, "We were drinking some liquor, and when I tried to stand up, I mistakenly spilled alcohol, and that person insulted me, saying that I was as imprudent, as pathetically stupid as Shembe, who died whilst trying to fly."
Angithi lo muntu ukhuluma kimi ngimanje, kodwa futhi ngiyaziwa ukuthi ngingumNazaretha. Lapha kugcwele izifundiswa zasemanzini.
That person spoke to me as a magistrate, but I'm also known as a Nazarite. In that room there were the educated elite of Amanzimtoti.
Bonke abantu banguka befuna ukubona ukuthi izothini manje.
Everybody looked at me as they wanted to hear what I, as the magistrate, had to say.
Lo mfana eoffice ufike wakhuluma nami. Manje sekuyimina futhi engiphethe leli icala. Lase liyathathwa idokodo lasiwa kumshushiso omkhulu. Okuyena onqumayo ukuthi icala kufanele liyothethwa kulo.
The chap spoke to me directly in the office, and I also presided over the case in question. Then the case docket was taken to the chief prosecutor, who would determine where the trial would occur.
Lahamba leli icala ngalibona lihamba libuya idokodo. Mhlambe kwaze kwaba zikhathi ezintathu.
The docket was taken away, but I would on several occasions see it being returned, perhaps on 3 occasions.
Kwathi kwesine ngambona umshushisi esukuma enkantolo. Wayesethi, "Your worship, I decline to prosecute the accused." Okusho ukuthi ngiyalichitha icala. That's number 53.
Okay, just 1 second.
Number
Sorry.
53.
Sorry. No, English.
I said,
Maybe
What?
I can just continue.
kwathi okwesine ngambona umshushisi esukuma enkantolo. Wayesethi, "Your worship, I decline to prosecute the accused."
On the 4th occasion, I saw the prosecutor standing up in court saying, "Your worship, I decline to prosecute this
Case.
case." In this
Nga-
case.
Ngathula ngambheka ngathi, "What are you saying?" Wathi umshushisi omkhulu wenqabile ukumbopha ukuba aboshwe noma ashushise umboshwe.
I looked at him and said, "What are you saying?" He then said the chief prosecutor refused to have the suspect convicted.
Angizange ngambuza lutho umshushisi sisesenkantolo. Ngavele ngathi inkantolo ake ime isikhashana. Ngase umshushisi ngimbizele e-ofisini lami ngafike ngathi angikuzi ukuthi uthini. Umshushisi omkhulu ulichithe kanjani icala ngoba umboshwa ubelivumile.
I made no inquiries while we were still in court. I simply temporarily adjourned the court proceedings and then invited the prosecutor to my office. I said, "I don't understand your statement. How did the chief prosecutor dismiss the case because the suspect pleaded guilty?"
Umshushisi wahleka kancane wabesethi, "Ingani lo shembe wakho?" Wayekusho lokho ngoba azi ukuthi bekusho yena ukuthi uzoke abone ukuthi ushembe uzokwenza kanjani ukuthi lo mfana engaboshwa. Kodwa mina angiphikanga ngani.
The prosecutor laughed politely and said, "It's this Shembe of yours." He said that because he knew that he was the one who was wondering how Shembe would set that chap free from conviction. But I didn't make any contentions with an element of stubbornness.
Ngase ngithi mina ngiyezwa ukuthi ilo shembe wami kodwa kwenzeke kanjani.
Then I said, I understand that you are referring to this chamber of mine, but how did it happen?
Uthike lo mshushisi hey kwenzeke into esimangaliso. I-postmortem report ithena lo muntu owafa wagawa imoto ekhanda lahlakazeka ikhanda.
The prosecutor said there has been an astonishing development. The post-mortem report suggested that the deceased was run over by a car and his head was split into pieces.
Kodwa istatement salo muntu sithi lo muntu lona ugwaziwe enhlizweni wafa futhi akaphikile lokho. Kodwa i-postmortem report ithi umufi wagawa imoto ekhanda.
But the suspect's statement alluded to the fact that the murder victim had been stabbed in the heart and died. And he didn't deny that. But the post-mortem report suggested that the deceased was run over by a car.
Umshushisi omkhulu sibuyisile lesi statement se-postmortem report. Wathi angamshushisa kanjani ummangalelwa istatement sakhe sithi umufi wagwazwa enhliziyweni kodwa i-postmortem report ithi wagawa imoto.
The chief prosecutor returned the statement and the post-mortem report, asking how on earth he could prosecute the suspect whose statement said the murder victim was stabbed in the heart, while the post-mortem report said he was run over by a car.
Kwathiwa isidumbu asimbululwe sisiwe eDale Street kwenziwe i-postmortem entsha. Wathi udokotela la kunezidumbu eziningi kabi manje akakwazi ukwenza i-postmortem kabusha.
It was said that the corpse had to be exhumed and taken to Gale Street so that another postmortem could be conducted. The surgeon said, here there are numerous corpses. He couldn't afford to conduct another postmortem.
Kwakukade kuthiwela ama-particulars akusiwo awalo muntu ofile. Kwathiwa udokotela akahambe ayoyilungisa lento.
It had been suggested that the particulars didn't correspond with the deceased, and the surgeon was required to go and rectify the error.
Kodwa wathi udokotela angikwazi ukuyilungisa lento ngoba kunezidumbu eziningi kabi ezilapha kwaDale Street.
But the surgeon insisted that he could not rectify that error since there were too many corpses in Gale Street mortuary.
Nalo mufi sekuphele 6 months nabo bonke laba bantu abalana banqatshwa. Wathi udokotela akazi ukuthi manjena uzosithathaphi isidumbu ngoba akasazi.
Even the deceased and the rest of other dead bodies had been buried for about 6 months, and the surgeon didn't know where to find the dead body in question, since he could not even identify it.
Uthike umshushisi uma ungazi ukuthi kwenzeke kanjani ukuthi kuphambane ama-postmortem reports kodwa amagama eqondile ngaleyo ndlela ke angikwazi ukuthi ngiqhubeke nalezi cala.
The prosecutor said, if you don't know how post-mortem reports were mixed up, though the names are still correct, I can therefore not proceed with this case.
Waphuma kanjalo ke umfana ngoba uyozibika khona ngoba lowo muntu uthuke umoya ongcwele usesihogweni. Awukwazi ukuboshelwa umuntu osesihogweni.
That is how that fellow was acquitted, just as per Lord Amos Shembe's prediction when he said, go and hand yourself to the police because that person insulted the Holy Spirit. He is in hell. You cannot be convicted for somebody who is languishing in hell.
Kwagcina lapho kusho khona inyanga yezulu. waphuma lo mfana. Noma lo mfana wayesewahlubuka enkonzweni, kodwa lesi sigameko samenza ukuthi ayeke utshwala abuyele enkonzweni. Ngamshiya embumbulu eseyiNazaretha, eseyinkosana ngokugcwele, ebonga ukuphuma emlonyeni wengwenya.
The prosecutor had been amused, but Lord Amos Shembe's word was fulfilled, and the fellow was acquitted, though that chap had defected from the assembly. But that event caused him to quit drinking liquor and rejoin the assembly. When I left Mbumbulu, he was a Nazarite, a full male Nazarite, who was grateful for escaping the deep trouble that almost affected his life.
Manje ke angeke ngisho ukuthi lesi simanga senziwa inyanga yezulu, kodwa njengomprofeti kaJehova, inyanga yezulu yazi ukuthi ngokuthuka ubaba omkhulu lo mufi kugcine kuphi ngaye, nokuthi lo mfana angeke ezulwini aboshelwe ubulala umuntu olahlekile.
Now, I cannot claim that this miracle was performed by Lord Amos Shembe, but as Yahuwah's prophet, he got to know the fate of the murder victim, and that the chap would not be condemned for murdering somebody who had been sentenced to eternal damnation.
Ngithi angikuchaze lokhu ngoba namhlanje abantu sebevele nje kuthiwa hayi umprofeti abantu bethi bangonkulunkulu ngokwenzeka kwalezi. Angisho ukuthi lento yenziwa uShembe, kodwa ngithi yabona uShembe ukuthi izohamba kanjani.
I thought I should just explain this because nowadays there are many people who are known as prophets, even though they are not true prophets, and others are known as gods. But in this case, I'm not claiming that this miracle was performed by Shembe, but I'm saying he got to know, he got to see it before it occurred. May the Lord bless his word.